Shalom, brothers and sisters. It's the Hebrew Life again. I'm Base Jerusalem, and we back with another lesson. We're going to call this one, The Children of Jerusalem Have You Sold Unto the Grecians. Yes, you heard it right. The children of Jerusalem have you sold unto the Grecians. Now, there's a lot of false doctrine going on within Israel. You got this doctrine that the white man is Esau, that the white man is a monkey, the white man is not human. We're going to debunk all that today. On top of that, we're going to prove that the Grecians are the ones who the Africans, not us, sold ourselves, but the Africans sold Israelites to the Grecians. We're going to also prove that Esau can possibly be the Grecians who took us into captivity and beat Esau at the same time. Now, we're going to kick this off with Genesis 10. Because first we got to know where the Grecians come from. If you didn't know, the Grecians are a Japhite, a group of a nation within Japhet. They're not any nation that's been mixed with Esau. Esau mixed with Ishmael, and he mixed with the Canaanites. He did not mix with any Gentiles. There's no record of Esau mixing with any Gentiles. Now, let's go to Genesis 10 to connect this. Genesis 10, and we're going to read at verse 2. The sons of Japhet, Gomer, Magog, Madai, Yavin, Tubal, Meshech, and Tyrus. Now I want you guys to take a memory note of these names, Yavin, Tubal, and Meshech. Now, since we know, now we're going to jump down to verse 5. It says, by these were the isles of the Gentiles divided into their lands, everyone after his tongue, after their family and their nation. Now we know that the Gentiles are the so-called Caucasian or white people, Mexicans, Persians, Indians, Mongols. These are all Japhite nations. Now, we're going to remember those names, Yavin, Tubal, and Meshech. Let's go to Ezekiel 27. Because these people, these names that they named off, Yavin, Tubal, and Meshech, are known traders. They were known traders. They traded people. Now, it shouldn't be a shocker that down the line we were the ones getting bought and traded by these people. They were known to be trading people, which is slavery. They didn't have service. Trading the people was slavery. Let's go to Ezekiel 27 to unlock who our so-called enemies is and who brought us on slave ships according to Deuteronomy 28 and 48. And Deuteronomy 28 and 68. Because there's a doctrine going around that this is Esau. You see these brothers on the corner and they're screaming at Japhites, saying that you're Esau, you're the red devil, and all these. We're debunking that today. We're proving to you who the so-called white man, the so-called Caucasian is. The people who took us into captivity, the people who the Africans sold us to. We're going to find out who these people are, because we just can't label them white people, because there's many different nations of Africans. You have Ethiopians, Egyptians, you have Put, you have the Philistines. Then you got many different nations within Japhet. You got the Grecians, you have the Chinese, you have the Russians, you have all different types of nations within. Then within Shem, you have the Arabs, you have so-called Negroes, you have Syrians, you have all different types of nations within a son of Noah. There's many nations within each son of Noah. People need to understand that. Every black person doesn't come from Africa, and every white person doesn't come from Russia. Now, we're going to go to Ezekiel 27. Ezekiel 27, and we're going to start at verse 12. Tarshish was thy merchant by the reason of the multitude of all kind of riches, with silver, iron, tin, and lead, and they traded in thy fairs. Yavin, Tubal, and Meshech, they were thy merchants. They traded the persons of men and the vessels of brass in thy market. Now, we're going to start right there. It says, Yav and Tubal and Meshach were traders of persons, of men. They traded men. They traded men. That's now all through Ezekiel 27. They're naming things different nations are selling. But when you get the Yav and Tubal and Meshach, they're selling people. They're selling people. It should bring another taste in your mouth about who started the slave trade, the transatlantic slave trade, and the Sahara slave trade. It was these sons of Japhet, Javan, Tubal, and Meshach. And if you look up the word Yavin, he is the father of Shittim. And Shittim is modern day Rome. And modern day Italy. Greece is South Italy. So if you do your research, all these great supposedly nations, Alexander, the Romans, all these people come from Italy. They come from Greece. They come from the sons of Yavan. They come from Shittim. Shittim had a son named Roman. Roman. That sounds very close to Rome. That sounds very close to Rome. Now, we're going to get the precept to Ezekiel 27. Because we just can't leave that off and say, well, they were sellers of persons of men. We got to find more thorough details on to show that Yavin, Tubal, and Meshach sold people in this as merchants. Let's go to Joel chapter 3. A precept to Ezekiel 27. Joel chapter 3. And this is a key point to the video, because now you're finna find out who Judah and Jerusalem was sold to and who sold them. So we don't have to guess and wonder who sold us. We don't have to listen to this old lie that been told that we sold each other. Africans sold Africans. No, Africans sold Israelites to Grecians. We're finna find that out right now in Joel chapter 3. And I'm going to read. For behold, in those days, in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. And I will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations, and parted my land. They have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they may drink. Yeah, what have you to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon? I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to keep reading. But what the people need to understand is Tyre and Zidon are African nations. So now the Most High is saying, what do you have to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon? Let's find out what Tyre and Zidon and these African nations have to do with Israel. Yeah, what have you to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Will you render me recompense? If you recompense me swiftly and speedily, I will return your recompense upon your own head, because you have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. And the children also of Yehuda and the children of Jerusalem have you sold unto the Grecians, that you may remove them far from their borders. Behold, I will raise them out of the place where you have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hands of the children of Judah. We're going to start right there. As you see, the Most High, Joel is reading the prophecy. The Most High says he's going to pick his people up from the place where the Africans have sold them. That's America. That's America. Now, we got to find out who the Grecians are. We're not done. We're not done. Let's go to the apocrypha, because they took this out of the King James version of the Bible, the 1611 version of the Bible. Why? Because they want to hide who the Roman Catholic Church is. They want to hide who the Romans are, who the people in America are today. If you look at the monuments in America, the White House, the Coliseum, the football stadiums, the basketball stadiums, all of these monuments are resemblance to Greece, resemblance to Italy, Rome. Italy and Rome and Greece can all be the same headed dragon, because they all come from Italy. Greece is South Italy. I believe Rome is North Italy. So let's read. Let's go to First Maccabees in the apocrypha, because we got to find out who these Greeks are. Because and they're not Jews, and they're not black Greeks. They're not Greeks that speak Hebrew. They're not black people in Greece who forgot their identity. These are not the Gentiles we're talking about. So don't try to mix that up. No, these are the original Gentiles and original Greeks. Not Greek speaking Jews. These are not what this is. Let's go to Maccabees, the first chapter. So we got to find out who Greece is. We got to, because it says that the Africans sold Israel, Yehuda, and Jerusalem to the Grecians. So we got to find out the origins of the Grecians, because this is not even sounding like Esau. I can tell you that for one. Let's find out who the Grecians are. First Maccabees, chapter 1. And it happened after that, Alexander, the son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim. I explained earlier that the land of Chittim is Rome. This is the land Alexander came from. He was a Greek who came out of the land of Chittim. And had smitten Darius, the king of the Persians and the Medes. And he had reigned in his stead the first over Greece. The first over Greece. It said Alexander was the first to reign over Greece. So now we know the origins of Greece. Alexander, these movies they put out, they represent their people. We're going to jump to verse 9. We're going to jump to verse 7. Because Alexander had a short reign. Let's read. So Alexander reigned 12 years and did die. And his servants bare rule everyone in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years. And evils were multiplied in the earth. So what we need to understand, when Alexander died and he passed his ring on to his buddies, evil was multiplied in the earth. This is the multiplication of the evil in the earth. People need to realize that this is the rule of the Gentiles. Ham had his rule first with Nimrod and with the Africans, Egyptians, and Ethiopians. Then we had our rule and we lost it. Now it is the time of the Gentiles. That's what you see. Gentiles on Gentiles fighting. You see the Grecians coming over here, taking over the Indians, another form of a Japhite, taking over the Mexicans, which is another form of a Japhite. It's the time of the Gentiles. And we are the slaves of these Japhites at the moment, because we disobeyed the Most High. So he let the Africans sell us into the Grecians. According to Deuteronomy 28:68, he said he was going to bring you to Egypt again with ships. Let's keep reading. It says, and there came out of them a wicked root. We're going to jump down to verse 11. In those days, there went out of Israel a wicked man who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us, for since we departed from them, we have much sorrow. This is what you see black people doing today in America. They're trying to be with the heathen. They're trying to, even though we're in captivity, even though they know the heathen's not going to love them, in order to make their yoke lighten, they want to side up with these people and forget their laws, forget who they are as a people. Just totally lost. Let's sell out. This is what these people say. Now, we're going to prove that Esau is not the Grecians. Let's go to Obadiah 8 before this video runs out. Let's read Obadiah 8. It says, shall not I in the day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and the understanding out of the mount of Esau, and the mighty man, OT man? Let's jump down. And for the violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. And that day thou stoodest on the other side, and the day that the strangers carried away the captives, his foreigners, and entered into the gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem. Esau was watching. He could not be the white man if he was watching the white man take us captives. Stop it. I'm Base Jerusalem. This is the Hebrew Life again. Shalom, brothers and sisters.